=3 is the most early 2000s cringe that you could possibly fit into a YouTube series.
Epic face, epic face, epic face, epic face, jizz in my pants.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Needless to say, it was the most subscribed channel on YouTube at one point. With the amount of videos uploaded, there was bound to be some episodes that were lost.
Doing your mom, doing your mom.
What you feel in the night, what you feel in the morning, what you feel midday, that you don't think other people have the same thoughts.
XxXTentacion had a lot of unreleased songs in his earlier discography. Some of these songs have been found, some are still lost, and some might have not even existed. There was one song that was unreleased that was similar to Groupie and that it was very incriminating towards X. He would talk about killing his mother in the song over an ominous sample. The people that may have had it in the past have said that the song is not in their possession anymore, so it is likely completely lost. There are hundreds more songs that he has made that are equally dark, but in different ways. We really just don't know how much of his content is not available anymore. Amanda Fielding, who now is well known for being an advocate for alternative medicine like cannabis or LSD, and she even owns an organization of some kind, drills a hole in her head. She thinks that it'll lift her into a higher state of consciousness and cure illnesses that she might have had. Surprisingly enough, no doctor would do the procedure, so she had to do it to herself with a dentist's drill. Here is an interview years after the fact.
I bet you are a very interesting young woman. I have to ask you, at least briefly, about the self-trepanation video. And I just see a young woman that's really bold and doing something that she believes in. And the more I read about it, I'm more fascinated with this and being a cultural thing that's been done for thousands of years. And I was just wondering, was that a scary thing for you to do? Was that a statement that you wanted to make? Or how did that come about?
Right. Well, I think it's fascinating. I'm still, in fact, I'm saying to myself, now the drug policy's solved and the psychedelics are pretty well, the door's opening. Next thing is opening the door to research into trepanation. Because the hypothesis is it improves the cerebral circulation by getting back the possibility for the blood to express itself in the heartbeat. And that little bit of extra blood pressure makes the cerebrospinal fluid, which is other fluid, have a better circulation. So it's a little bit more active, more alive, the cerebral circulation. And after all, everything happens in the brain. And it's known that from 13 to 21, that kind of period of growing up, but particularly the kind of end bit, 21 to 24, is a very kind of tricky period and that's when the skull finally seals, becomes a solid, more or less solid case. And the pulsation continues, but in a limited expression. So the hypothesis, which actually has been done, as you rightly say, since whatever, 10,000 BC.
They found evidence of that.
Yeah, and it was quite often with the leaders. It was the priests or something, because you found several trepan skulls buried in pottery with a bit of silk or something.
Okay, so the holy people or the shamans were doing it to
The
themselves.
shamans, the priest castes, the kind of leaders
Okay.
around the world, in nearly, not every culture, but fair enough, not Egypt, where the body was sacrosanct, but India, I think, a lot on the German-Dutch border in prehistoric times. You know, they're clusters, a lot in Latin America, and then pre-Columbian America.
And what does the process involve, or what did it involve back then? I mean, how do they do it? Is it a small or whole?
Well, it's unknown territory. What is known is that it was used until the First World War as a treatment for migraine, epilepsy, insanity, depression.
Okay.
Actually, anything that goes. You know, if you couldn't think what to do. I once met an Indian neuroscientist, frightfully nice man, and he said, I said, anyway, he said he gave his rich patients pills and he'd pull once a trepan. I said, did it seem to work? He said, well, they never came back.
Fielding made a film of the event and of her pet bird, for some reason. It's reported that at least one person fainted when watching the movie. It was thought to be completely lost until there was another screening of the movie in 2011. Snippets of the film were made available in the film A Hole in the Head in 1998, and more footage was released in 2022 in Season 3 Episode 6 of the show Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia.
This is me looking rather anxious. It's the morning of the operation. Here's Birdie, who lives with us. This is an old skull, an Irishman, I believe, in his day, which I practiced drilling on. I decided to make the hole on the median line, just above the hairline. Here I'm lifting the instrument out of the sterilizing fluid. This is the bath cap I wore to keep my hair out of the way. The dark glasses I wore to keep the blood from trickling into my eyes. I taped them to my forehead. They have the effect of depersonalizing me. This is the electric drill with the flexible drive. I stop drilling every now and then to dip the bull head into distilled water to cool it. There are 3 layers of bone to get through. What one is doing in trepanation is removing a piece of bone from the skull. One is not entering the brain. The brain is soft like a pudding. The change was almost imperceptible, like the tide coming in. It was a feeling of elation and relaxation. Later in the evening, I noticed a silence in my head. Having cleaned up and had a bath, we went out and had a steak for supper to make up for the lost blood, and then went to a party we'd been asked to. All this took place in 1970. Now, 8 years later, I can say that the experience of it is as good, if not better, than I'd hoped. I think the consequences of the operation, the regaining of the lost energy and buoyancy of childhood, are advantages which should be made available to everyone. Trepanation is the only way of permanently expanding consciousness.
Can I suggest you get fucked? Whitehouse is an experimental industrial band known for popularizing the genre of power electronics, which is mainly spoken word yelled atop harsh, pulsating noise. Their song, Why You Never Became a Dancer, was in response to a documentary about a grooming victim, and how they couldn't be a dancer because of their past. The band regrets it so much they disowned the song. This GIF is in an unofficial music video of the song, and for 15 years, nobody could find its original photo. That was, until it was revealed to be a photo of Rita Kotakemura, victim of serial killer Kyoji Akubo. She went on a date with him, he tried to rape her, and he killed her, after she lied about her family being police.